Good morning, everyone. Happy Tuesday. Welcome to our MLS tips and tricks course. Thank you so much for joining us. We have a great class today. We're going to cover different tips and tricks that you guys can use on the MLS, things that you may not know of, things that you may not have time to discover, and we're going to discover that all today. We are recording our session. I will upload our class into the my YouTube channel, which you guys can find all of our recordings, really. So if you have any questions, please feel free ask questions. You know, we like to have an interactive class, and if there's any questions, just unmute yourself, ask questions, or type on the chat. I'm always looking at the chat as well. All right, guys, so let's go ahead and jump right into the MLS itself. So of course, you guys know you're gonna log into Matrix. So we're gonna go ahead and access Matrix, and here we are inside of Matrix. Now, before we actually begin, I do want to announce a new partnership that the Miami Association of Realtors has with Stellar MLS. Stellar MLS is the largest MLS, not the largest association, but they're the largest MLS in Florida, and they do cover areas like Sarasota, up into Tampa, and then across over to Orlando and Ocala and even Puerto Rico. So you guys now have access to all properties in all of Central Florida. And you guys can access, all right, you can access the Stellar MLS by logging into Matrix and then clicking on more and then clicking on Intra Matrix, and you'll see here all of the partner MLSs. Of course, you see here Georgia, there's Mexico and California and Michigan and Dayton, Ohio, right? But down here we have Stellar MLS, which is Central Florida. This is a new addition to our MLS tools. And when you click on Stellar MLS Central Florida, it will open. And luckily for us, they also use Matrix. All right. So they also use Matrix. And it's going to open up the Stellar MLS where you now can search all areas like Orlando, Kissimmee, Tampa, St. Petersburg, Clearwater, things like that, Ocala. All right. So you guys, it's very simple. Just come here to Matrix, click on more, click on Intramatrix, and then click on Stellar MLS. And once again, that's the MLS I was looking for. Uh, it opened this one by mistake. This is actually not the one. This is Stellar MLS. You'll see it over here.
I'm
And
not seeing it, Robert. I'm just seeing Intramatrix, but I'm not seeing it.
all right, so if you had Matrix open this morning, I
Hmm.
recommend that you close it and go back
Okay.
to your panel and click on it because the same thing happened to me. I woke up this
Okay. Okay.
morning really excited to see it and I didn't see it either. But once I closed Matrix and I opened it back up from my browser, it shows up. All right. And this is the Stellar MLS that we were looking to join, right? And here it is. And once again, now you guys can go here and it's Matrix, all right? So it looks a little different. It's a little, the color's different, but you definitely do have the same searches. You know, you can come over here and you can run your same searches. And as I said before, you can go to cities like Kissimmee and Orlando and any city in Central Florida and pretty much find properties. So it's a really cool addition to all of our MLS resources that now we can search properties in Orlando. If we have clients maybe looking to buy an investment property, maybe an Airbnb property in Orlando, or they're relocating to Orlando or Tampa, and as long as you don't mind making the drive over there to show them properties, then you can, search and find them properties this way. Okay. All right, guys. So that's your Stellar MLS. It's really cool. It's in here, guys. And as I showed you, you do have access to a few other MLSs that you see here. I mean, there's Kansas, there is Maryland and Delaware and Pennsylvania right here. There's also Northern California. So if you have someone looking to maybe relocate to San Francisco, You can go through there as well, maybe buy a property on Lake Tahoe. You have that there. Remember, we're licensed in Florida, so at this point, we would be referring business over to an agent in that end. But the fact is that you do have even Colorado. So if anyone's looking for MLS property in Colorado, you can search Colorado right here. Okay. All right, guys. So that is the intro matrix and all of our partnerships, which now includes Stellar MLS. So I'm very excited about that because we often do get buyers that may be interested in properties in Orlando, and we had to find other ways like MLS Advantage to look up property in Orlando, but now we don't. Speaking of MLS Advantage, this is one of our resources, which is inside of our resource panel. It's part of our MLS resources. And you guys do have access to statewide MLS properties by clicking on the MLS Advantage. So if you click on MLS Advantage, it's a different looking system. It does not look like Matrix. However, you do have the ability to search for properties everywhere in Florida. So if you have someone maybe interested in a property in Naples, or in Marco Island or in Fort Myers or Cape Coral, you guys can always come over here and you can just type in Cape Coral and you will be able to find properties in Cape Coral. All you need to do is enter, the city, right? Whether it's a single family home or maybe a condo or a rental, put in a price range and just go ahead and click on search. Obviously, down here, you have more criteria, right? Where you get to put in more criteria. Bedrooms and bathrooms, I believe, are right here. So let's say a minimum of three bedrooms, sorry, bathrooms, and a minimum of four bedrooms. Click on search and you're going to get the properties in Cape Coral. There's 709 single family homes in Cape Coral right now active with a minimum of four bedrooms and three bathrooms. I did not put a price range. So as you can see, it's right now sorted by price range high to low. And you guys can always sort up here on the upper left corner by clicking on low to high. And the lowest priced single family home that has at least four bedrooms and three bathrooms in Cape Coral right now is $200,000, guys. I mean, you're gonna find properties in Cape Coral that are extremely affordable for those looking to maybe relocate, maybe retire or buy an investment property over there. And the way that you guys can see the details on the property is simply clicking on the address, and it's going to open up now all the photos, right? It's got all the photos of the property. And you have all the details of the listing. You have over here remarks. You have features of the property. You can click on listing detail and you're going to see any broker remarks, which is in MLS Advantage, they call it private remarks. And down here, you have all of the information for the agent who listed the property. And you got tax details and you have map and directions. You guys can always create a report right here. So you can send the report over to your client. And you also have the ability to go right into Form Simplicity and write a contract on this property. So MLS Advantage has properties throughout all of Florida. So whether it's Pensacola, right, which is all the way in the northwest corner of Florida, or even down in I don't know, let's go somewhere where we may not have access to properties, San Augustine, Jacksonville, Daytona Beach. You guys can find it. All right. That's MLS Advantage. And then one last thing, guys, I know that it's MLS tips and tricks, and these are actually tips, right? If you want to find properties outside of Florida that are for sale, don't forget that RPR, right? RPR right here, and RPR is nationwide. So again, you can access RPR to kind of see what's out there. However, you're not going to actually do the deal because we're not licensed in other states. But if you are interested, you can come over here and say, like, I have someone who's interested in maybe renting a property, lease, active, and they're looking for condos and they're looking for condos in New York City. All right. So just come over here, New York, New York, New York. And we're going to now get some properties that are for rent in New York. All right. Um, let's go to say Las Vegas. All right. See what's out there in Las Vegas, Las Vegas, Nevada. All right. And once again, you're gonna get condos or homes that are available in Las Vegas. So for sale, let's go for sale because I see their lease and I see prices. All right, there you go. Look at all the for sales. All right. So, anyways, RPR does have nationwide properties that are for sale and then also public records. It's got public records. All right. So let's go ahead and close out RPR. Let's go back into Matrix, guys, and let's go ahead and begin the actual Matrix or MLS tips and tricks. All right. So the first thing I want to cover is really important to us. It's called the 1004 MC report. It's the market conditions report. We must master this report. This is a report that allows us to understand how the market is behaving in any market in all of South Florida. All right. So whether you're helping a buyer or you're helping a seller, it's important for us to understand how to pull a market report. So we're going to go ahead and open up Matrix and we're going to go to more and we're going to click on market reports. And then off to the left, you do have agent production report. So let's just go over here, agent production report real quick before we hit the market conditions report. If you guys ever want to see your production throughout the years, all you need to do is click on agent production report, put in your license number here, put in the date range that you want to see your production, and then just click on generate report. It's going to give you all of your active and sold listings, and it's going to give you all of your sold properties, the ones that you assisted buyers with that were not your listings. It's also going to give you all of your rental production. It's giving you all of your production. So if you're ever curious as to how your production is this year, begin it January 1st, 2025 through today's date. And then just come over here, put your license number, and click on generate report. Also, this works if you ever want to see the production of another agent. All you need is their license number. So look up their license number in the MLS, then plug it in here and see the production for that particular agent. Now, if you want to see the production for every single agent in our office, you can always come over here where it says office or MLS ID and put in our office MLS ID, which is EOVR01, or you can just spell Elite Ocean View Realty. It'll find it. Click on generate report and you will see all the production for every agent in our office. So it's a really cool thing that you guys can do. And it's under market reports and that's agent production. All right. So let's go right here to market conditions and let's learn how to do the market conditions report. All right. I always include this report in all of my CMAs, in all of my comps. Anytime I send comps to my buyers or sellers, I always include this report because it is a general idea of how the market is behaving and how we should price the property if we are sellers or how we should offer on an active listing if we are buyers. So we're gonna come here, we're gonna select active and we're gonna select sold or closed. And for close, we're going to change the date range to 365 days. Excuse me. So we have here active versus 1 year of sold properties. And let's say that we are wanting to do this for single family homes. We will select single family homes. And let's say we wanted to do this for the city because you can do a zip code, you can do a map, like you can draw on a map, you can do a radius around any particular address, or you can do a city. So right now, I'm just going to go ahead and do the city of Pinecrest. Pinecrest is a city in southwest Miami-Dade County. It's just south of Coral Gables and just north of Palmetto Bay. So it's a city in between Coral Gables and Palmetto Bay. So here we have Pinecrest, single family homes generate report. And let's say I have a seller in Pinecrest or I have a buyer looking to purchase in Pinecrest. How is the single family home market behaving today in Pinecrest? All right. So for those of you that have never seen this report, let's go ahead line by line and explain what this report is. So we have three columns. The first column to the left goes over the first 6 months of our study. It goes back to today's date last year, all the way through March 29th of this year. The second column is the next 3 months, which goes through March 30th of this year through June 29th of this year. And then the last column is the last 3 months. So it is the month to date statistic going from June 30th through September 30th, which is today's date. The first line that you see here is the number of sales that have occurred during that time period. So in Pinecrest, there were 52 sales within the last 3 months. Okay. And since we are studying 3 months here, then the second line, which is the total number of sales divided by the number of months, that's your absorption rate. And we're looking at 17.3 properties sold per month, right? That's 52 divided by 3, 17.3 properties per month. Now, has that number gone up or has that number gone down? All right. We had 11 and a half properties per month, 16.3 properties per month, 17.3 properties per month. So that number has actually gone up, right? And 49 sales versus 52 sales. We did sell more within the last 3 months than we did during this time period. Now, what also has gone up is the number of active listings. So the total number of inventory. So active listings, we went from 76 to 96 to now 130 properties that are active. So the inventory has increased. That means more sellers are placing their properties on the market. And we are now creating a more buyer's market. As you can see here, this is your number of months of housing supply. So we went from 6.5 months to just under 6 months to now 7.5 months of inventory. Anything over 6 months of inventory, so starting with 7 and above, is now considered a buyer's market, right? Anything from 0 to 3 months is considered a seller's market. 4, 5, or 6 months is considered a stable market or a balanced market. So we are teetering now with a buyer's market in Pinecrest, and you will see the number here reflect if you run this study next month. You'll see it may be different. So looking at this, it's advantage buyer, right? That means that when a buyer purchases a home, perhaps they're going to purchase a home for a lot less than the asking price, or perhaps get a credit for their home. All right, for the buyer's going to get a credit for closing. Now, this here is the sales price. So look at the sales price, guys. 2,832, 2.4, 2.45. So price has gone down over the year, right? Sales price has gone down over the year. And then the active listing price is also going down. So the active listing price, which started at almost $5 million, is now down to 4.49. So basically $4.5 million. So it has gone down by about $500,000. And then this last one over here, percentage. This is the percentage of the sales price versus the asking price. So we are selling properties in Pinecrest right now at 87.8% of the original price. So buyers are pretty much buying the properties at a 12% discount, right? 12% discount. So 12% lower than the asking price. This is how you study this report, and this is a report that you can do for any market. Watch, close this out, and I'm going to just move it up to Broward. Let's go up to, say, Cooper City. All right, Cooper City, which is a city in Broward between Pembroke Pines, Davie, Southwest Ranches area. That's Cooper City, single family home. Don't do anything else. Just click on generate report. And now you have, see, a totally different market. Look at Cooper City, guys. We don't have 7 months of inventory. We have slightly under 2 months of inventory. And then it jumped up to slightly under 3 months of inventory. Now in Cooper City, we're looking at 4 months of inventory. So if you are a seller, this is more of, it's not a seller's market, but it's definitely not a buyer's market. It's more balanced, you know, it's more balanced. And even so, the prices are still going down slightly. As you can see, 732, 775 down to 688. But we're not selling at 87% of the asking price. We're selling at 98.36% of the asking price. So buyers are not getting that many like deals or discounts, you know. It's obviously not a buyer's market here. It's more of a balanced market. All right. So that's Cooper City. And then you guys want to do condos, you can do that by switching off to condos. And then I want to go ahead and do condos in Miami Beach. Condos in Miami Beach over $1 million. Let's go with condos over $1 million. So 1 million plus. All right. Click on generate report. Now we're going to look at all of Miami Beach. That includes South Beach and Mid Beach and North Beach. And guys, if you have a condo, Miami Beach, that is for sale, you have a lot of competition. The inventory of $1 million or more went from 333 properties up to 596. So we've almost doubled the inventory. All right, and then the inventory in Miami Beach for a condo over $1 million, there's 20 months of inventory. Guys, that's 88 sales over the last 3 months. That's 29.3 sales per month. If you have 596 active listings today, which you do, when you divide 596 by 2933, you get 20 months of inventory. So it's going to take us 20 months to sell off the entire inventory. That's almost 2 years of inventory. So definitely a buyer's market in Miami Beach for a condo over $1 million. If you want to switch that up and go to condos less than $1 million, then just go ahead and put $1 million or less, and let's see what the condos lower than $1 million in Miami Beach is doing. All right, let's go ahead and see that report. And you're still looking at a buyer's market. It's almost 17 months of inventory. And look at the inventory, guys, from 803 available condos up to almost 1,500 condos today. That means if I go to the MLS and I run a search for active condos in all of Miami Beach under $1 million, I am going to get 1,495 active listings. Watch. Come to the MLS, search RE1, RE2, active, condo. All right. And let's do this. Let's do our condos and then let's go $1 million or less. And Miami Beach, right? Miami Beach, 1,495. You see that right there? 1,495. So the stat that we just showed you is real time, all right? 1,495. So the stat that you see here, that's real time stat, okay? So guys, learn how to run this report, understand how the market is behaving in any market in all of South Florida. And that is the market report 1004 MC report. All right. Perfect. All right, so this part of my class, we're gonna go ahead and show you how to customize your I call it a spreadsheet, but your report that you see once you pull up properties. So I'm just going to run a quick RE1, RE2 search, right, for a single family home or condo, and then we're gonna do one for rentals as well. So right now we're just gonna go ahead and select single family home, and we're gonna run a single family home search for zip code 33134, and let's go ahead and click on results. All right. So when you click on results, it always opens up to the agent single line. You guys see it over here displaying? This is my spreadsheet. This is why I call it a spreadsheet. Why? Because it is a spreadsheet. Columns can be moved, columns can be deleted, right? Remove columns can be inserted. So it is a spreadsheet. Now, this is your default spreadsheet or display from Matrix. You guys can always create your own. And I'm going to open it and show you that I have quite a few. I have over here all the ones that say my, those are my own reports. So let's discuss how we can do this. Okay. The first thing you guys want to do is you want to start adding things to this report or removing things. So, for example, if you guys want to remove, say, a column, let's say I want to remove design. I don't need design. So you don't click on the word design. You click over here off to the right, and you're gonna hit remove column. Now that's gone. You see the square feet living area right here, and you see the lot size. Let's say you want to put lot size right next to living area. Just drag it, click and drag it. Now you have it there. Type. Maybe I don't need type. I mean, I know I'm looking for single family homes. I don't need the system to tell me what the property is. So just remove column. All right, start reducing the number of items in the column. What if you want to add a column? So you see right here, list price, sold price. What if to the right of sold price, I want to add days on market, the amount of days the property's been on the market. You're going to go here to sold price, right? And I'm going to go ahead and click. Remember, do not click on the initials. Click to the right. Click on insert column. And now I'm going to search for DOM, days on market, right? And it's actually the initials is actually CDOM. All right, so CDOM. But you're gonna go ahead and click on days on market, click on apply, and now you have your days on market. What if you also want to do closing date? Maybe you're looking at properties that sold and you want to know when they closed. Well, I'm going to go ahead and again click on here and click on insert, and I'm going to spell closing date, right? So closing date, there it is. Apply. And now we have a column here for closing date. Okay. I'm going to expand it just a little bit here like that. And of course, that's empty, right? Of course, that's empty. So it's sold price. But what happens if I go back to criteria now and I click on closed and I remove active and I click on results? Now we see here that we have days on market, we have our sold prices, and we have when that property closed. You see here, closing date, June 20th of this year, April 29th of this year. If you want to sort by closing date, just click on the abbreviation of CD, click on it, and that is how you sort. So if I sort here, the most recent sale in Coral Gables, all right, or zip code 33134 for a single family home happened yesterday. And it was a property that sold for $1.4 million. Before that, we had a property that sold on September 24th for 850. All right. You guys, once you set up your spreadsheet to look exactly the way that you want it to look, then follow me here. You see this little image right here of a pencil on maybe like a notepad. When you hover over it, it says manage display. Click on it. give this a name. So give it a name. We're gonna call it I don't know, let's call it uh preferred display. All right. We're gonna go ahead and click on save as a copy. We're going to click on save as a copy, and now it's going to be renamed my preferred display. So now you guys can always switch from displays like this, and you can look at my preferred display at any time. Okay. Now, if this is the display that you want to use every time you search for properties, then to the right of manage display, there's a little settings tab. You see it? Click there and then you click on set current display sort order. All right. And do that. Okay. So your search now has been saved. Your search defaults have now been saved. That means that I run a new search now, right? I run a new search, single family, 33331, right? Click on results. And I have my preferred display as my default display. All right. If you want to set it back to the normal default, then go back to agent single line. Go back to agent single line. And you want to go ahead and click on set to your current display, or just click on reset the system defaults. All right. And this is your system defaults, reset it. Okay. Guys, also, I always like to see as many results as possible. So if I'm looking at 107 results and it says 1 through 25 of 107, you see over here where it says 25, I'm going to set this to 100 results per page. And then just go to the settings wheel on the right and set it as your default. Like this, every time you run a search now, it's always going to give you the first 100 results per page. All right. Some of you have it set up to 10 results per page or 25 results per page. If you want to set it up to 100 results per page, you do that. Okay. That's another tip I really wanted to give you guys. Now, let me go back to criteria real quick. How many of you go to a search and you see active, coming soon, or active with contracts always checked as a default? All right, I know some of you do. How do you remove that? So if you don't want this to happen every time you go and you run a search, go ahead and remove coming soon, remove active with contract. You want to leave active and then go to the right. Go to the right. There's a little settings wheel here. Do you guys see it? All right, click on that little settings wheel and then once again, click on set currently selected search criteria as your starting default. Now, when you run a search again, it's no longer going to be checked. All right, so if you ever wondered how to remove coming soon or active with contract, do that, right? Remove it, click on the settings wheel, set it to your default, and that's it. Okay. Now, guys, let's talk about the additional criteria because I believe this is very important to our searching. All right, underneath the results here, you have additional fields. Okay, take a look at my page. I have quite a bit of additional fields that I have added. You know, that obviously comes with time as you start to add more and more to your MLS search criteria. The additional fields basically is any other criteria that you guys can use for searching that is not in your default criteria. All right, so you want to click on add remove and you want to find the criteria over here on the left, highlight it, and then click on add. All right, build yourself your additional fields. What do I have in my additional fields? I have okay to advertise. Why? Because maybe I am looking for properties that allow me to advertise as a buyer agent, right? If I'm looking to do some promotional work and I want to find properties that give me permission to advertise, that is one field I have. Let me go ahead and click on back button and let me show you. The next field that I have in my additional fields is terms considered. So if I have a client that is interested in an FHA property, right, where FHA loans are possible, then you must go ahead and select terms considered FHA, and there are 24 properties in this zip code that I can purchase using FHA financing. If I am looking for cash deals only, then just go ahead and do cash only. And there's one. There's obviously if it's cash only, then something's wrong with the property, right? If financing is not acceptable, then maybe something is wrong with the property. But if you're looking for conventional loan, right? No FHA, conventional, 103 properties. So use your terms considered. Oftentimes, you're going to get someone that says, find me a house in Pembroke Pines or Weston or Davie or Cooper City without an HOA. Now, we know that's pretty much very difficult to do. However, there are opportunities. So, for example, in the city of Pembroke Pines, all right, in the city of Pembroke Pines, and I'm going to go ahead and remove the zip code because that is not Pembroke Pines. But in the city of Pembroke Pines, there are currently 287 homes for sale. Now, that same client asked me to find them a home in Pembroke Pines that is not inside of an HOA. So, type of association is an additional field I added. And for type of association, I'm going to go ahead and select none. We are looking at 66 homes that are not inside of an HOA. Now, of course, guys, we're depending on the realtor who listed the property to have correctly answered this question, right? If the home is inside of an HOA and they put none, we are going to see the results. So don't assume that every home that you see here is outside of an HOA, all right? But for the most part, it should be right? Correct. See here, type of association, none. No association fees, no monthly fees. This house is not in an association. Okay. So you guys, type of association is going to allow you to find single family homes outside of an association. Guys, is there anything like finding a condo or a townhouse that's outside of an association? Do you think that's even possible? I don't think so, right? I mean, condos, they all have associations, and for the most part, townhomes all have associations. So if you have a client saying, hey, find me a townhouse that does not have an association, I'm gonna say good luck to you because it's very rare, very rare. Okay. Now, if you do have that client that's looking to find maybe an association that's not that expensive, and maybe they have a monthly budget, and their budget is not to exceed $250. So you are going to add an additional field called association fee. And for association fee, you're going to add $250 or less. So the properties that you see here all have an association where the association fee is $151 monthly. $151 monthly, so that's less than 250. The next property on my list should be pretty much the same. Let's see here. Association fee, $236 monthly, so that's less than 250. Once again, use association fee to find properties that are below a particular dollar amount. Okay? Design description. If you have a client that only wants one-story homes, then design description allows you to filter out the rest. So right here, by selecting one story, there are 163 properties that should not have a second floor, right? I mean, if I see a second floor here, then obviously the listing agent made a mistake when they listed their property. All right. So I'm going to go back over here to criteria. That is design description. Very important to use it because you are going to have clients that say, listen, I have bad knees. I don't want to climb stairs. I'm done with stairs. I've been living in a townhome my whole life and I want a single family home that's one story. Then don't waste time looking through those listings. Add one story to your design description. Same thing, if you've got clients that are looking for condos and their wish is to live on the 20th floor or above, add yourself an additional field called unit floor location. And all you need to do now is put in here 20 plus, and then the results that show are going to be anything above unit floor location 20. So anything from 20 and above are going to be your results. And then, guys, REO is foreclosure. If you've got a client that's looking for a foreclosed property, a bank-owned property, maybe they're looking to get a fixer-upper, right? Then add yourself an REO field and select yes. Same thing for short sale. If you've got a client looking to try and get a deal, trying to get a property at a lower price, you can look for short sales. Make sure that we have pets allowed. You know, we're trying to buy a condo in a building where pets are allowed. Again, make sure you add pets allowed. HOPA, guys, we all know is 55 and over community. So if you've got a client looking for a condo in a 55 and over community, then you are going to select verified for HOPA. That means that I am looking for a verified or a condo that is inside of a 55 and over community. If you've got a client looking to buy a condo that's not in a 55 and over community, or a townhouse, or a house that's not in a 55 and over community, then go ahead and click on no HOPA. All right. So that's another important field. Minimum number of days for a lease. If you're looking to buy a property, maybe a condo, where you want to find out if they allow daily rentals, right? Daily rentals, you can use minimum days of lease and then put in minimum days of lease one, right? Minimum days lease one. So if you have results, and I'm gonna go ahead and remove single family home. Let's get out of Pembroke, let's stay in Pembroke Pines, but let's go to condo. There are 9 here. I'm sure there are more, but there are 9 right now. All right, where minimum days lease is 1. All right, 30. Right, there are 11. Obviously, jump it up to 365 and you're going to see a whole lot more. All right. So there's a lot of condos right now that are available to purchase where the minimum days lease is 1 year. Basically, that are, yes, you can lease them, but for 1 year. All right. There's very few that are less than 1 year. Okay. Another way that you guys can filter that is daily rentals allowed. So daily rentals allowed, okay, there are 7. All right, I figured that much when I put in the minimum days lease. But daily rentals allowed, meaning that Airbnb is allowed, right? If you're just looking for properties that you can buy and rent it right away, then okay to lease should be what you check where it says restriction, okay to lease. Okay, there's one more, okay to lease first year, because sometimes you can buy a property, but you are required to live in the property for 1 or 2 years before you can lease it. So there is an option called OK to lease first year. Okay. So pay attention and use restrictions. Okay. Now, I'm going to go ahead and stay in Pembroke Pines and let's go to single family home and let's learn how to use remarks. Let's learn how to use remarks. So to the right, you guys are looking for maybe a fixer upper in Pembroke Pines. What are some terms that are commonly used in a fixer upper situation? I'm showing it to you right there. All right. Tender loving care, right? Tender loving care. All right. So asterisks, TLC, asterisks. Always put an asterisk at the beginning of the word or at the end of the word. Not or, and at the end. So beginning at the
What
word,
does that do, Robert? I don't mean to cut you off.
no, that means that this is a keyword. So that means that somewhere in the remarks, the agent mentions TLC. So if the agent is telling you, hey, tender loving care needed or TLC needed, I want to know, right? Because I'm looking for that type of property. So in Pembroke Pines, there are 4 matches. I'm going to click on results and show you. Welcome
I
to the
see.
home, blah, 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 blah. And then it says here, um, popular malls. No, one more. Yeah, right here. So you'll see this home offers an exceptional lifestyle with some TLC. All right. Perfect for wanting a personal touch. So if you're after a property that maybe needs a little fixing, while the home needs some TLC, right? A credit for repairs will be provided. So that's one way that you guys can use remarks. Not just TLC, guys. Look, if you're looking for a great investment property, just put in the word investor in between 2 asterisks. All right, there are 9 matches there in Pembroke Pines that indicate it's an investor's dream or something like that, right? I mean, what do we have here? What does it say? Investor. All right. It says it somewhere. I can't find it right now. All right. I may be blind, but I can't find. Oh, there you go. Calling investors. It's right there. Calling investors looking to add to their portfolio. So once again, if you're kind of looking for a perfect investment opportunity, maybe using the word investors as a keyword in the remarks is going to work for you guys. So again, anything that you guys can think of. Look, asterisk, air, B&B, asterisk. All right, in Pembroke Pines, too. Let me go here. Let me go Hollywood, and let's go condo. All right, 92 matches for condos in Hollywood, where the agent, all right, mentions Airbnb. Now, it could be no Airbnb is allowed, right? So you need to still check. But this income generating property is perfect for Airbnb and short-term rentals. All right, with no rental restrictions. So if you guys are after properties where your client wants to use it for Airbnb, and that's one way that you can find it. Use the restrictions, not restrictions, sorry, the remarks fields and put in asterisk Airbnb and asterisk, and then your results should equal to properties that are allowing Airbnb rentals. All right. I mean, think about it. Fixer upper. Think about what people may put in the remarks. Go ahead and do that. Okay. Also, guys, you may have property or you may have clients that are looking for ocean front or direct ocean front views, not just the building, right? The building could be located on A18, right? But the unit looks west. So if you want direct ocean views, then add yourself unit view. RE2. RE2 for condos, right? Unit view RE2. And then come here and select direct ocean views. So right now in Hollywood, right? In Hollywood, we have 145 direct ocean views. I'm going to go ahead and select waterfront. And we're going to click on results. And I hope that we have, yeah, we do have direct ocean views. Of course, we're right on the boardwalk. All right. So you have the ability to select direct ocean views. Let's go to a building. Let's see here. And I just hope that we do have direct ocean views. I think we do. I think I saw some ocean there. Just gonna quickly go through these photos and there you go. All right, so we have, I would call this partial ocean view. Maybe this balcony right here is direct ocean view, but nonetheless, you still have really good views of the water from this unit, you know? All right, guys. So again, man, there's so much you guys can do with your additional fields. Make sure that you utilize it correctly. All right, once again, if you've got maybe someone that's looking to buy a property that already has impact windows, window treatment, make sure that you come over here and high impact windows, impact glass, right? If you've got looking for someone to buy a condo that has a washer and dryer in unit, then add yourself equipment appliances and make sure that you select dryer and that you select washer, right? Washer and then dryer. These are appliances that are in unit, 85 matches. You know, you don't have like a washer, like a laundry room in every floor. No, you have an in unit washer dryer. Same thing on a rental search. I know a lot of us work rentals and maybe you're looking for a rental unit that has an in unit washer dryer. You're going to add yourself an additional field on rentals called equipment appliances. Okay. And then there's one more I think I want to cover. That's amenities. I don't even know if I have it in here. I don't. So I'm going to go ahead and add remove. And I'm going to go ahead and spell the word amenities. There it is. Let's go ahead and add it. Amenities was not it because it's already one of your fields. All right. So maybe it's one of my fields. It is actually. I don't have to add it. It's here. Amenities. So again, if you have a buyer who's looking for a condo with particular amenities, use this, you know, cabanas, clubhouses, gym, spa, things like that. All right. Make sure that we utilize these search options. All right. All right, guys. So that's pretty much, I was just kind of going over some of the criteria fields that you may want to use during your searching. All right, let's go back over here to search. And I do want to show you how to search for open houses. Those of you that want to know what open houses are happening, maybe this weekend is very simple. You guys probably know how to do it. But in the event that you don't, click on open house right here. Click on open house and then go ahead and select a date. So open up the calendar and I'm looking for an open house on Saturday, right? I'm going to go out with my buyer and I am interested in looking for single family home open houses on Saturday in the city of Weston. All right. Are there any open houses in Weston? Of course, let's go with price range not over $1.5 million. So less than $1.5 million. Click on search, and there are two. There are two open houses happening in Weston this Saturday under $1.5 million. Both start at 1 p.m., both end at 4 p.m. And here are the open houses. All right, here are the open houses. So plan on taking your buyers to this open house, viewing the property like that. You don't need an appointment and you can tackle, quite a bit of open houses in one day. All right. So that is how you guys can search open houses. It's pretty simple. Click on search open house and you can find your open houses. All right. All right. Any questions, or do you guys want me to cover anything that maybe you've wanted to learn from in the MLS and you have not asked before? This is a tips and tricks class. I'm just going to go ahead and give you guys an opportunity to ask any questions. Try me. All right. You guys are all good?
For
Crystal,
now, I'm
Claudia,
picking for now.
Fabiola, Victoria. You're thinking, that's fine.
Yeah.
That's good. There's so much. Listen, I've done different MLS tips and tricks classes here in the past, and I've covered something completely different this time. So every time I do a tips and tricks class, I try and do something different so we learn something different because really we can sit here all day and dissect the MLS and come up with different ways to use the system. All right, so this was a different class. I'm glad that we recorded it because I will load it to the YouTube channel and you guys will be able to watch it just like you'll be able to compare with a previous MLS tips and tricks class that I had. All right. All right, guys. So if you have no other questions, you know how to reach me. Thank you so much for joining us today. I really appreciate it and have a wonderful Tuesday. Bye.
Thank you, Robert.
Thank you, Robert.
Welcome.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Robert.
Have a great one.
You too. Bye.